It is of utmost importance to understand nowadays how the workplace has been evolving to accommodate new ways of working. Spaces have progressed in terms of cultural and mindset change. So we started years ago from knowing what my office was and feeling a sense of belonging to one specific space, to a situation nowadays when we can work in any place, basically in any space, and any space can become our place. So we really feel connected and attached to that space. This has become even more significant after COVID-19. With COVID-19, we know that many newspapers came up with these worrying titles like there's the death of the office is coming and things like that. Now we know that this is not true anymore. The office will keep existing, but for sure it won't be exactly the same as it is nowadays. We are taking care of this question during our summer school on workplace management. In particular, we are focusing on what diversity is. We're starting from this concept of diversity in order to understand what are the single individuals looking for when they are working. Diversity, we know that encompasses many different things. We're talking about diversity in terms of age and generations. Diversity regards also culture, abilities, and religion, and of course, different work activities. In the world of work nowadays, we're used to having a mix of different generations that are sharing the same spaces. We have from baby boomers who were born in the 1945 until Generation Z, and soon also the new generation Alpha, so the newborns in the new millennium. And of course, all these people have a different way of approaching work, a different way of collaborating with one another, a different way of using technology as well. People are also diverse in terms of culture, abilities, and religion. Nowadays, more and more, we are looking at how families are changing. There are non-traditional families, different gender identities. Ethnic diversity is becoming more and more significant in the workplace, and distinct cognitive categories are all included in the same spaces. Neurodiversity is really a concern, a new concept nowadays, a concern not because deaf, mute, sightless people with the Asperger syndrome, and people with adult attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder work together, but because it is important that all these people find the correct support for their activities and the best comfort in the workspace. We also know that up to 50% of the working population is composed of introverts, which means that these are people that every now and then need to go to protected spaces, to sheltered spaces where they don't have as much contact, as much exposure with the external environment, because they feel then recharged by isolating themselves and relaxing. And finally, we have also an interesting integration of different religions and different customs. Think of people that, for instance, observe Ramadan. They might need specific spaces and specific breaks during the workday in order to respect this religious habit, this religious custom. And finally, people are of course diverse in the way they approach different activities at work. Employees, salesmen, consultants, managers, and executives all spend a different amount of time during the working day in pausing, in having individual work, in communicating with others, and in having meetings. So it is a mixture of different needs that need to be balanced out in different workspaces. This have two main impacts that we are addressing in our summer school on workplace management. One is referring to the so-called activity-based working, which means people looking for different spaces according to the type of activity that they are performing. And the second issue is space utilization. All these different ways of working actually affect the way we use offices, we use our homes nowadays to work, and we use a number of other, a variety of other spaces. All this is actually the interest and the main topic of our summer school on workplace management. We are very happy to announce that we are launching our 5th edition of the Summer School on Workplace Management. We started this adventure in 2018, and up until last year we have interacted with overall 120 participants, among which students, researchers and practitioners. These people come from literally all over the world. More than 22 countries were included. And we had a lot of main sponsors over the years, including A2A, a utility company in Italy, Samsung, CBRE, a real estate company, Assolombarda, which is an association of enterprises in the Lombardy region, and New Working Spaces, which is our cost action 18214, which is one of the main sponsors of our summer school since 2020. The Cost Action is a project that is a European-funded initiative. It includes more than 35 countries in our case, and it's a network of researchers that specifically collaborate and put together their research efforts in one single direction. Among the activities that are supported in this framework, there are also training schools, such as our Summer School on Workplace Management. The main topic of our cost action is the geography of new working spaces and the impact on the periphery. This is one of the additional topics that we are addressing with our summer school. So we're not looking only at how workspaces are changing in terms of layout and interior spaces, but also how they can help the communities, the neighborhoods to thrive. The objectives in specific of our summer school are related to the needs of one specific company. This year, the company that is supporting us as a case study is Assolombarda, one of the Association of Enterprises in Italy. They have three main goals. One is to increase the efficiency and flexibility of their spaces, given the strong integration of digital collaboration, of course, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. The second objective is to identify new spaces and services that can adequately support all the different activities that are carried out by the workforce, taking into account the team's specific requirements, not just the individual ones. And finally, the third objective is to include within the building, within their main headquarters, also collaborative and hospitality spaces where employees, member companies and other stakeholders can really meet to discuss and work together. Our approach is to determine the demand, the needs of the demand, both at an individual, at a team and an organizational level, to compare the demand with the supply, so with the current shape of the building and the current situation of the urban context of the neighborhood and the city, and to put these things together and find out through a very analytical approach what is the solution that can match demand and supply. This is an iterative process, so at the end we're also looking at how to keep verifying that demand and supply are correctly aligned.